So you've been a part of this cast for like 5 years now, so you've obviously had time to bond. Yeah, it's been 5 years.
Wow.
So which one of the cast is the biggest gossip?
Oh, I feel like, to hold on to the oath, an unspoken oath of actors.
Yes.
There isn't one.
There isn't one.
That's my
oath.
answer. That's my oath. Yeah, there isn't one.
Okay, fair enough.
Sorry, Carolina.
I'm sorry.
Another one. If your characters had access to Spotify, let's say, what songs would be on their playlist? I've thought about this a lot. I have my own suspicions, but...
Can you tell me what your suspicions are?
I think Eloise would be, the young Eloise, would be really into Avril Lavigne at first, maybe.
Oh, cute.
I think then she'd graduate into like Mitski or like very niche alt music.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think she'd like... There's a really cool three-piece
Phoebe Bridgers, maybe.
Or like, there's a really cool three-piece from New York, three beautiful, beautiful girls called Say She, and they do like just funky disco, fun, wicked stuff. I think she'd be into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like she'd love musicians. I think she'd love going to live gigs.
Oh, for sure.
She'd go to a lot of live gigs, I think, a lot of live music. What about Lady D?
Lady D, she would, of course, she would love Iggy Pop.
Oh my God.
I love Iggy Pop.
Yeah.
So she would love Iggy Pop. She would love Stravinsky, Penderecki, Kodai. She would love The Clash.
Oh, she would love.
She would love The Slits.
Okay, so you think she'd be like a rock chick?
Oh, she's punk.
She's punk.
She's a punk.
She's punk, and those classical composers are the punks of their day as well. She would love all of that, but she would love. Odetta is like folk music. Odetta inspired Bob Dylan. She's a black folk singer from the 1950s. She would love that, and she would also love the Isley Brothers for a bit of get down funk.
Who's that lady?
Who's that lady? All of that. So yeah, stuff that takes life and goes.
I love that for her.
Yeah.
I was actually suspecting she might be into maybe Sade, but...
No, absolutely not.
Not, okay.
Soft. No, it's too soft.
Okay. So speaking of Lady Danbury, in part 2 we have this really powerful scene with her brother. I had like full body chills when I was watching it. I think I speak for all fans when I say that we desperately need more Lady Danbury lore. We crave it so much. Do you think there's any chance, would you be down for like a Lady Danbury spin-off in the vein of Queen Charlotte?
I think Shonda is the queen of stories, and I absolutely am thrilled to take me wherever she wants to go. As we saw with Queen Charlotte, that whole backstory for Lady Danbury was really thrilling. I think, you know, so here's the thing. For me, Lady Danbury is like so many women I know who get dealt hard cards and then they make a fan out of them. You know, whether it's, you know, cousins, aunties, grandmothers, mothers, friends of mothers. Life is hard for lots of women and they're juggling a lot of things. And if they can juggle it, and still look fabulous and still have a drink and sit with their girlfriends and have a smoke and a chat and see that gorgeous looking man or woman in the corner and go, I think I'll have you. I love all of that. And I think Lady Danbury, she tries to live her life in that way. And part of the reason she tries to do that, because she understands how fragile life is and how you have to hold it hard if you want to keep going. And her brother is a reminder of when she was not, when life got away from her and she couldn't hold it and she couldn't grab it. And other people grabbed her life and did what they wanted with it. So I think it's very painful for her to have him there. And it makes her feel things that she's tried not to have to feel. So I'm really glad that you like that interaction between the brother and sister.
Yeah, so Lady Danbury spin-off, would you be up for it if there was a chance?
I'm an actor. If you tell an actor, we're going to do a story and it's mainly focused on you.
Okay, I'm manifesting that for both of us.
Okay.
So, if you could give your characters any advice for the part 2 of the season, what would it be?
For part 2 specifically?
Well, or for season 3 in general.
I'd say to Eloise, this is your time to listen. Because I think she missed a lot. Like, there were a lot of times where Penelope had to remind her that it's like, I don't have the same life as you, Eloise. Like, I don't have that life. So I think this is her time to listen, and that doesn't just mean outwards, it's like inside as well. Like, I feel like I'd say this is your time to listen, I think. I'd like really learn the art of like listening.
Yeah,
really.
She's very well-intentioned, but she's a bit self-absorbed, as many privileged children tend to be. So I think it's really exciting for her to grow emotionally and kind of step out of her worldview to kind of empathize with people other than, herself.
Yeah. It's interesting though, isn't it? Because we expect so much from people, don't we? Yeah. So I don't know if I find herself, I think she's 19.
She's finding her way.
She's lovely. She's one of my favourites.
But it's interesting though, because I think there is a school of thought that this is what Eloise is like, but it's so interesting what we expect from people, isn't it? Whereas actually age, or actually it doesn't matter about age as well, because most of the time you are just within your 5-foot-something body and you are your world, really, because it's so hard to consistently be outside of it. You have to kind of be inside of your own body. It's the only thing you know, so you do ultimately become selfish. But like listening is a great thing to add to her life, definitely. She can listen this time.
I think you know, it's that thing about love your neighbour as yourself, which implies you have to love yourself first. So there has to be a deal of self-reflection and self-thought and self-interrogation that you have to do in order to make yourself firm in the world so that you can go out into the world. That's what I see in Eloise. And I actually still see it in Lady Danbury, because I think she thinks I'm in this position, then something comes along and knocks it, and it's like, okay, and regroup. How am I feeling? How do I need to respond to this? Then how do I need to act? And I think that in life, we're always in that process of going, and what do I think? And, so I would say in this season for Lady Danbury, what she learns in this season is don't get complacent. You're always in a moment of having to maybe regroup and rethink, and that's okay.
I think it's interesting how both Lady Danbury and Eloise are sort of each other's foils, in a sense of one of them really dislikes the ton and like the societal expectations. The other one doesn't love it, but like has learned to navigate it so masterfully. And I think it would be interesting to see maybe Lady Danbury take on Eloise as like her mentee.
That's something else you can manifest as well.
Yeah,
as well as
you can manifest that.
I will.
You're going to be so busy, Carolina. But I also think, because I think Lady Danbury doesn't feel like, the great wise Buddha, I think she's in the process of learning as well. So I think she would enjoy hanging out with Eloise to go, how are you finding it? What's going on for you? Tell me about the latest books.
Have a ciggy together.
Yeah,
I think Lady Danbury is very young at heart, despite like her very advanced people skills, and I think they would be like just really good friends if they had a chance to interact a bit more in the new episodes. I
agree.
I'd have you over, we'd have a sherry and a fag.
I think they'd see each other as equals, wouldn't they?
Yes.
I think that's what you're getting at.
Exactly.
It's like, that's amazing. I agree with you.
Yeah.
And last one, do you have a favorite outfit that you got to wear this season?
Oh, this season, I had some amazing, like, long coats, which always give me Violet Bridgerton vibes as well, like, Mama Bridgerton vibes. But yeah, that had like crossovers that went around my neck that turned into a bow at the back, and they had like frills around here. Some of them I felt like Prince. It was amazing.
Very good.
Yeah, I liked the long coats that Eloise had. They were wicked.
It's that's interesting because Lady Danbury this season, because what I like with Lady Danbury is I like, John Glazer, our designer, he lets me, I've always wanted for Lady Danbury because she's on her own, she doesn't have a husband, I like her to absorb the masculine and the feminine. And so this season I got to wear a stock, a men's stock, you know, the big cravats, with a great tailored jacket. I love a long coat too, and the hats. I love that. For me, I'm actually wearing my favourite things: a hat, a swagger stick, a long coat, and a stock.
Yeah, you got some badass stuff.